reality shows on TVs. Who thought TV could sink this low? We've been watching Mr. Ed on reruns, and back then we thought, can television get any stupider than this? Well, it has. Come to find out, Mr. Ed's pretty funny, pretty well written, although the relationship between Wilbur and Ed was a little bit creepy, shall we say.
Okay, and this is a 63 Ford Fairlane with a rug on the top.
Got a rug on the top too, kind of protected. It's got raccoon shit on the roof.
And you haven't cleaned that off because
no reason.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, in the dark, you're still talking about Mr. Ed and
Yeah.
One Life to Live. You got a dead horse and a show that got canceled. It's time to bring you forward.
And
it's time to go forward.
And I miss Vicky so much.
Well, I don't know who she is. You know,
she was the main character.
You can always get a new one.
No,
she
was the main character.
Mr. Ed.
No, One Life to Live.
Oh, she didn't ride Mr. Ed?
No.
Well, then I wouldn't watch the show. I wouldn't care.
Now they tell stories of the guy that played Wilbur, Alan Young, tells stories about being where else could you have it work in television and ride your co-star on the weekend?
Well, they do it all the time.
They do it now, but not then.
Well, no.
Yeah.
So this is what you would drive around when you're watching your soap operas and talking about Mr. Ed?
When I was that age, this was a new car.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a new car.
Right.
So, no, I was never that lucky.
But you like that period?
I liked the 60s,
like
yes. That was a neat little car.
Yeah.
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 You know,
you got a big enough back seat. You know, they don't make back seats big enough.
If you
now.
couldn't afford a Buick
you need a bigger back seat now.
Yeah.
People are bigger. So.
If you couldn't afford a Buick or a Pontiac or a Chevy, you bought a mid-size Ford.
Well, I always heard if you couldn't afford, I mean the Ford was next to the Mercury. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good car, but smaller. Yeah.
Sharp car. So you want 3 for that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess you want to keep it here more than you want to.
Well, it's not hurting me where it's sitting.
Well, it's not helping you.
No, it's not hurting me either.
But it's not helping you.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And I can look at it and I can remember the 60s.
Well, do you have friends that you can look at and remember the 60s? I mean, that's what I do. Just like the people.
Well,
you know, sometimes they got new faces on the old face.
Most of the people my age have already died. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
I'm the only one left to tell the tale. I was telling stories with somebody that I
Are they giving you their stuff? Is that why you have all the stuff?
That's a lot of it.
Yeah, they give you their stuff when they go? Wow.
Yeah. All right.
No, he said, okay.
Hey, can we clean the stuff off the Maytag? Is that possible?
That ruins the ambiance. We can do the Maytag rant later. But there's a pair of Maytags going to hell, which I wish hadn't happened. Because now you can't get parts for them because Whirlpool bought them and killed them. Now I can't buy parts. But anyway, there they sit. There used to be hundreds of these out here. And they've sit here and gotten rusty, and I've gotten bored, and I've loaded them up and hauled them off.
Well, why did you pull them out here?
Because I was bringing them in by the trailer load every week from Dallas, and we just lined them up, and I fixed what I could and scrapped what I could, and I got behind.
Why are they brown?
That was the color that year.
What year was that? 1940?
The late 60s. Late 60s, we went from white to chocolate to avocado to harvest gold, and then back to white. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you remember that, but you won't watch HD TV.
No. Yeah, well. Hey, didn't have HDTV in the past.
These didn't even work.
They would have years ago. They've sat here too long now.
I'm just gonna show you something.
Yeah.
It's like an elephant. A baby elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not raccoons living in that one.
Well,
you know, you could put a pillow in there and raise a litter of kittens.
You could, you know.
Yeah, you could. It'd be cute too.
Wow. Are these washer dryers over here too?
Those are stoves.
Stoves?
Yeah. Those are
same house because it's all brown.
Same era.
Same era because it's
yeah.
Is that a gas stove?
Those are gas. Yeah. Back post-war, stoves were 40 inches wide.
Right. My grandmother had. Was this like back from World War II? Just after
World War II?
Did you have the plates that go on the top of the burners?
Oh yeah.
You got them?
I've got tons of stove parts here.
Those are the actual plates that would go on top that you would cover.
Oh, the burner covers?
Right.
I've got some here. Yeah. There's stove parts and
I might not have opened.
You know, back in the post-war years, O'Keefe and Merritt made beautiful 40-inch stoves with 4 and 6 burners, and there was a lid that closed to cover the burners when you weren't cooking.
Right.
And when you raised it, they folded and had props. You had a warming shelf to keep your food on while you were cooking. When you're cooking, you closed it and it was a smooth, clean surface. Grew up with one of those.
And this is what, Brian?
That's probably a Roper.
Have you checked to see if you wanted this reconditioned, what this would cost you to do? Because this...
Those go for thousands reconditioned,
Right.
yes. And people are buying them
shape,
for parts.
Right, no, but what you have here, do you have all the parts for it?
They're probably all there.
So what would you sell this
In that
for?
condition, $100 bucks.
That's a steal.
Yeah,
Did you hear me? That's a steal.
because that's twice what it's worth as scrap metal. Why is there a toilet out here?
Well, yeah.
Well,
Do
you know there used to be a good market in toilet tanks? Because you can't buy a tank
you could train that
for...
raccoon to use a toilet. You could make something
Yeah,
on that deal right there. I think you're missing a bet.
We
You're
tried
letting your
that.
raccoon use your car. You got a toilet right
Well, it's like potty training cats. They don't do it either.
there. Something been trained in there.
Yeah. Well, we tried them as flower pots, and that's only cute once. Mosquitoes like them. You take a hammer and whack them up, and you've got some dandy gravel for your flower bed or your driveway. But I'm a little behind on my toilet whacking.
Well, I cannot imagine having people come over to my house and say, hey, that is sure nice landscape. Oh, thank you. I just butchered up a toilet and threw it in there. Can you imagine?
You'd be surprised. We just went to a trade show, and they're selling nothing but decorative, vintage stuff made out of junk. I mean,
hey, you know, have you thought
scrap
about
metal, old wood,
Hey, you ought to
old machinery.
You ought to have a trade show out here. We could charge admission.
Yes. If I put a turnstile on the gate down there, I could make a fortune.
I'll help you. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, because you got all that here.
I got the haunted
You could
house
make-
tour over there.
You
and,
actually do haunted house tours here?
one could.
Well, I bet you haven't.
Haven't, but one could.
Well, I don't think it'd go that far.
mean, we
you
know-
put a toilet on your front porch, people screaming right away. No one's going to come in your house. I'm just telling you right now, that right there is something you need to get rid of.
People come up here, one of the camera guys came up, and he goes, do you have a bathroom?
And that's what he used.
I said,
You know
yeah,
what? I don't
it's a
think that-
junkyard, but yeah, there really is a working toilet in the house.
But he didn't use the field. He just decided to go ahead and
I
use your
guess he went in
outdoor.
the house, but I said, you know, it's up to you, but if you go outside, at least cover it up.
Well, you probably got something here to cover it up. A big old pot with a sunflower hanging off the top and say, don't worry about flushing.